Let's take a look at the window sticker and see exactly how much this particular one cost and what features it has. As we can see, this is the Hybrid Limited, which means it costs a bit more than the standard hybrid. Not supposed to have any options, but you know they're just going to tack something on because they just have to. Yep, $37,200 for the car and $210 for floor mats. Why do they do this? Why not just toss it in standard, especially on an upgraded like this, but don't ask me. And thanks to this current administration's fuel prices, it costs $1,150 to ship it out now, instead of it used to be like $600, so we're up to $38,560. I think we're still getting a lot of car for the money though. And here's what you're getting for all that dough. I'll just scroll down real quick and freeze frame it if there's something in particular you want to see. And they claim fuel economy that we already discussed. Nice if you can get it. We'll find out. And before I forget, this is made totally in Korea, in a Korean plant with Korean workers and Korean parts, which explains the high quality of these vehicles. So here it is with the new styling for 2024. This is a very sharp looking rig. Nice looking from the rear as well. I like the front end too. And on the inside, the cabin is just nice on the outside, but we're going to look at that later. First, we're going to review things that other car reviewers don't. For example, what brand of tires are they giving us? A lot of manufacturers are putting cheap garbage on to save money. These are Kumho. I think these are Korean tires, but since the car is made in Korea, that wouldn't surprise me. I'm really not familiar with the brand, so I can't say something as far as thumbs up, thumbs down. Second thing we do is check and see if there's a spare tire on hybrids. There usually isn't. They say they do it to save weight. They're really doing it to save money. Nope, no spare tire here. Although there is room for one if you want to. Take this little styrofoam tray out. And third thing we do is take the headlights out in the dark and see they perform and do night driving. And we already did a video on that. We'll have a link for that at the end of this video, so you're not missing anything. When you buy a Sonata, you have three choices. The base vehicle has a 2.5 liter, putting out 192 horsepower, rated at 25 to 36 miles to the gallon, an average around 30. That sets you back $29,000 base. Then you have what we have here, the 2-liter hybrid, putting out 191 horsepower. Fuel economy 44 to 51 mpg claimed, as we saw on the window sticker. That starts at $32,000. Or if you're a big spender, or like hot rods, there's the N-Line, 2.5 liter, a whopping 290 horsepower, of a nice turbo system. Fuel economy drops down to 23 to 32 mpg, which is still pretty impressive for all the power. That starts at a cool 36 grand and goes up in price, as they all do with options. And I like the way they kind of separated the engine, putting it way over on the left side, and the hybrid system over on the right side. Yet the car still seems to be evenly balanced. Before we do the testing, let me explain to my viewers how hybrids work. They operate in cool, average weather. 60 degrees to 80 degrees, around that area they work fine. And in city driving, where the battery can push the car forward and assist the gasoline engine, they work fine in those environments. Hybrids don't really operate much on the freeway, so your freeway mileage isn't really that much great than compared to the standard 4-cylinder. And number two, they hate heat. You get temperatures over 100 degrees, your mileage goes straight down to the toilet. And we're in a heat wave where I live. Daytime it's always over 100 degrees, up to 116 degrees. At night in the low 90s. So we might not be getting the maximum fuel economy we could be getting if you lived in a mild climate like Hawaii. But it is what it is, and we'll find out what we get. This is a very, very nice cabin, very well designed. Nice seats that are heated and cooled with the vents. As a rule, I cannot stand fake wood trim, but this artificial bamboo, well, doesn't look that bad, really. I'll give it a pass. The climate system, very easy to use, simple knobs and buttons. The info screen is large enough. The camera system's very high quality with your 360-degree setup. I never get bored with this. A transmission shifter. This is a 6-speed automatic, by the way, not a CVT like other hybrids. Thank you, Hyundai, for giving us a real gearbox. The shifter is on the column right here. And it's pretty much idiot-proof. You want to go forward and drive? Press it forward. You want to go reverse? Pull it back reverse. Won't park? Push this. Very simple. Well, simple for the average person, not for some YouTube testers who don't like this for a list of reasons. Number one, a lot of them say they can't see this because it's blocked by the steering wheel. Oh, please. Not really. And secondly, you don't need to see it. What's there to see? Put your hand down, forward, back, or park. You don't need to see anything. I've been hundreds of miles on these type of switches, and I've never had to look at it. And number three, if you have to look at something, it tells you right here in the gauge cluster what gear you're in. So the bottom line is you don't need to see anything down here. So quit bitching about it, people. By the way, the air conditioning system in this vehicle, like most Hyundais, excellent, blows lots and lots of cold air. It's 102 degrees out there, and I'm nice and cool in here, no complaints. And here's the drive mode. You got Eco Sport in my drive, no normal mode. That's kind of weird. Well, I never use Eco mode. I don't have the need to use Sport, so maybe I'll put my drive in. The glove box has lots of room, by the way. Nice gauge cluster with very little glare. And those of you who like a head-up display, here it is. But you see nothing in the windshield because I turned it off. I don't like these things, so it's there if you want it. By the way, the radio is very easy to program. Favorite, press a star. Remove it, press a star again. Doesn't get much simpler than this. Overall, I would rate this cabin about 10 out of 10, about as perfect as it gets. Hyundai, Kia, and Genesis, all the same company, are doing a fantastic job on their cabins. Best in the industry, I think. And I can say pretty much the same about the driving characteristics of this nice sedan. The ride is very smooth and comfortable. The steering has good feel and feedback, light and responsive. You use the turn signals, you have a camera on the outside mirrors. You can see what you're looking at here on the gauge cluster, so you don't have to turn your head. Nice setup. And even though we have slightly less than 200 horsepower, this vehicle is extremely quick. Got a lot of guts. Of course, you won't get excellent fuel economy driving like this, but nice to know you can if you want to. All right, heavy city traffic, stop and go all the way, short trips. We're getting 27.0. We were getting 31.0, but it's getting a little hot and windy, as you can see by the dust all over the gauge cluster here. And 101 degrees, it's not cool by any means, and hybrids don't like heat, like I said. More to come. Get that dust off. What's the point? Comes back on a couple of minutes later. If you're looking for a vehicle for long highway trips, this might be for you. This car is smooth, quiet, comfortable, plenty of passing power, in a nice driving position. No complaints thus far from me. Might also add we have very strong winds today, but the stability of this vehicle is excellent. We're not wandering all over the road, going a straight line without any effort on my part. Again, very impressive. I might add it's very hot today, but the air conditioning's doing a fantastic job of cooling off this vehicle. Lots and lots of cold air. I found it to be also the same way on the Hyundai Elantra that we drove last month. And the controls are very easy to operate when you're driving as well. Adjusting temperature, fan speed, etc. End of our highway trip, 114 miles, 39.6 mpg. And it's still hot outside. Hybrids don't like heat. I think I already said that. More to come. With about 120 miles on the freeway and the rest of city driving, we were doing 34.2. Again, it was very hot outside, which affects the mileage, as I explained before. But we're going to take a night drive. Around 120 miles on the freeway. It's a cool 72 degrees. I'm hoping to get a nice, better figure. Even though it is highway driving, that city where we do better. Well, let's find out. Alright, average temperature tonight was around 75 degrees, 117 miles, 41.6 mpg. I think that's going to be the best figure we're going to get out of this vehicle on this particular test. And for the entire week, with about 65% freeway driving, the rest in the city, 36.8 was our overall average. So what's my take on this Hyundai Sonata after a week of driving? You know, it's about as close to perfect as it gets. I really can't find anything I'd change. The question for you, should you fork up the extra $3,000 for the hybrid over the standard vehicle? Or should you get the standard 4-cylinder without the hybrid and save $3,000 and use it for gas? If you're somebody who lives in a nice mild climate where the hybrids work efficiently, this might be for you. If you rack up lots of miles every year, this might be the vehicle for you. On the other hand, if you live in a real hot climate where the hybrids don't work efficiently, this might not be for you. Your choice. If you're interested in buying one of these, I suggest you watch our night drive and headlight video. That's coming up right now. Here's the link. Click and watch.